Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. Apologies that this video is coming quite a few hours later after the final whistle at Goodison Park. I've been having an absolute nightmare with my computer, updates galore. And as well, apologies that there was no review of the Newcastle game on Monday. It's just really difficult to review those games that are in the evenings. 8 o'clock at the Emirates where I don't get home until about midnight and then I've got to be up for work at 7 the next morning. It's just, I know it's terrible excuses, but it is tough, and I hope you can sympathise with me on that front. Obviously, I want to keep this consistent, and I want to keep the channel as up to date as possible. But unfortunately, real life gets in the way sometimes, and I'm sure all of you can appreciate that. But I'm here today to talk about our most recent game away from home at Everton this afternoon. It was fortunate that we came away with just 1-0 against us, because to be honest, it should have been 3 or 4 to Everton. They had that many chances. The Sigurdsson chance, Richarlison absolutely tore us apart, especially down on our left hand side. Walcott had some great chances when he came on in that last 15. We made it really difficult for ourselves today. The most worrying thing for me is the lack of creativity on our end, and it's a real shame that this performance has been cast upon us after what was such a promising month or so, when we had that win over Rennes, we had the win over United, the win over Newcastle. We were really starting to build some momentum, and I don't want to say that's completely been blown out of the water today, because it's one defeat, and I'm accepting of defeats this season. I know that doesn't sound great, but I am accepting of defeats in the sense that we know that we're going through this transitional phase, and defeats in the Premier League are going to be inevitable, even for top sides. So, you know, I'm happy to accept defeats. I'm not happy to accept them in the manner that they came in today. I do think tactically we got it wrong. I do think Emery, fingers have to be pointed at him, because I am questioning his team selection to leave Aubameyang on the bench for a second game in a row. Defensively, where we've been improving, it's a real shame to see that fall apart, completely falling asleep on the Jagielka goal. The fact we haven't tested Everton's defence, they've got a 36-year-old Jagielka who shouldn't even been playing in this game, and we didn't even test him once in this match. All I can think of is one opportunity that we had, Mkhitaryan with that shot that went a couple of inches wide of the post, the half chance that Iwobi created when he came on. But apart from that, lacking in creativity, stifled in midfield, far too negative in terms of the setup. I'm not going to be too quick to judge these Emery team selections, because I mean, they have been very complex, very intriguing, and very eyebrow-raising at times throughout the course of this season, but they have performed very well in some games. So I'm not going to be quick to judge his lineups. But today, when I saw the team sheet and I saw that we had a midfield 2 of Elneny and Guendouzi, that was asking for trouble. Elneny's barely played any minutes this season. I don't think he's a terrible player by any means. I think he's a very average player, and I don't think he's suited to Arsenal level. He's a utility player, and I just don't think Emery rates him. I think he's much more suited to a club that are a bit lower down in the league. I still think he's Premier League quality. I just don't think he's at a level where we can be relying on him in crucial games away from home at Goodison Park. I can understand why Ramsey didn't start, given that he had the slight niggle that he picked up against Newcastle, but I was disappointed that there was a real lack of creativity in that midfield too. Guendouzi's 20 years old. Obviously, he's still learning his trade alongside Elneny, that's barely played this season. I mean, throwing the two of them together that have never played before is just an absolute nightmare waiting to happen, really. Shame not to see Denis Suarez start. I'm really left scratching my head as to why we've brought this guy in. He's been at the club a while now, and we've got 1 month left of the season, and he's barely played. He's yet to even start a game for us. So I'm really wondering what we even were thinking about why we brought him in. Just seems like a complete waste of money on that front. Emery consistently says he's someone that can help us. Has he helped us yet? Not really. But I mean, today's defeat was a real blow. And it's a real shame, because it's a taster of what could be in the next couple of games. I'm looking at our away fixtures. Leicester, Burnley, Watford, Wolves, and Palace and Brighton at home. Should be 6 points there. But these 4 away games are incredibly difficult. Leicester under Rodgers have been fantastic. No getting away from that fact. Burnley just had a great win against Bournemouth, and they're still fighting to stay in the Premier League. That's looking assured for them now, but they're still fighting until the very end when it's confirmed. Wolverhampton Wanderers and Watford played an FA Cup semi-final today, and both of them looked fantastic. Watford in the end getting the win by 3 goals to 2. if that game is going to give us any indication as to what we might come up against, we know that they're defensively prone to damage, as are we. But I mean, it's good to know that we can get at them at the back. But I think it's a case of really going at these teams and playing our best players. That means playing Ramsey, Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette from the start, because I really think we tick. I do think we massively miss Xhaka and Torreira. I do think we're a different team when those players come into the frame of things, and I do think we massively miss Koscielny as well at the moment. Really got to hope that he's back for the game against Napoli, even though Emery said that him and Xhaka are doubts for that game, which is a big blow if true. But I am concerned because, as I say, we didn't create enough, and it's just this mental switch away from home. I just can't quite put my finger on it. We were awful away from home last season. The only 2 games we've won in our last 10 away from home were against Huddersfield in a game where probably fortunate to win. They were dreadful. We were dreadful. And Blackpool away in the FA Cup against the League One side. So tells you everything you need to know. Other away games that we've played, Cardiff just about scraped to win against them, and I can't really think of too many other victories we've had away from home, if any, this season. We had a great game against Spurs in the Premier League, so we've shown that we can do it away from home in the league. But I mean, it's just a case of really knuckling down and improving away from home, because it's crunch time now, and we've opened up an opportunity to United, to Spurs, to Chelsea, to all our rivals, and I still think we've got a favourable run in, but these are not easy games at all. They're against very decent sides, and we're going to really have to up our level, and those teams are all going to be thinking, yeah, we can have Arsenal, we can, because look at them away from home, they're rubbish. And we are. No getting away from it. We are exceedingly poor away from home. But it's mental how good we are at home. It's something that's got to be worked on next season, and it's vital that we get Champions League football. Another season of Europa League is going to really damage this club. And we've got players that should be playing in the Champions League. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil. Going to say Aaron Ramsey, but I forgot he's not here next season. We've got a team that is so close to being a real challenger, but it's just a case of getting into the Champions League, scraping over the line on that front, and getting in those additions and really having a go at things next season. I think we've got to start focusing on Tottenham as well, because the one thing that really wound me up against Newcastle on Monday, great win, but chanting Tottenham Hotspur, we're coming for you, ringing around the Emirates Stadium. I know people love it, but I just think it's embarrassing. Shouldn't be focusing on Spurs. We've got a weird obsession as a fan base with Spurs. And yeah, it's great, they're our arch rivals, and yes, of course I want to finish above them, but if we get Champions League football and finish above Spurs, I don't really care. To be brutally honest, Champions League for me is the priority, and whether we finish above Spurs or not, who's going to remember that in a couple of months' time? Like, I don't care at all. I just want to get Champions League football. I want to get this club back to where it should be, and the only way we're going to do that is by getting a top 4 finish or winning the Europa League. Massive game on Thursday now against Napoli. That's become all the more important. Should be a great game. Both very attacking sides at home. I'm looking forward to it. Got to be resolute. Got to try and keep a clean sheet and got to score as many goals as possible, because away from home in Italy, it's going to be a huge task to not get turned over by this Napoli side. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Let's put this game to the back of our minds, learn from it, get a good result against Napoli, take the game to Watford, who I'm hoping will be a little bit dazed by their upcoming FA Cup final next month. But they're going to want to keep the momentum going. They're on a massive high. Going to be a hugely difficult game, but yeah. Got to be optimistic, and I'm looking forward to these matches. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, I'll speak to you very soon. See you later, guys.